Hello, and welcome to the South Coast Artists Index, where artists, performers, and writers, as well as curators, directors, and supporters, anyone with ties to the creative community, drops by to introduce themselves to you. We'll talk about their beginnings, their vision, their passion, and so much more. The South Coast Artist Index podcast is brought to you in part by Heavenly Spirits, who invites you to celebrate the art of life and creative communities everywhere. Learn more at heavenlyspirits.com.
Hi, this is Ron Fortier with another South Coast Artist Index podcast. And you know the routine if you've listened loyally to this podcast series. I'm going to have our guests introduce themselves and spell their names.
Hi, Ron. Thank you, first of all, for inviting me for the podcast. My name is Robin Nunes, Robin-Nunes, and I'm an artist in the South Coast area.
Now, I'm trying to think back. When was the first time I met you? Was it through South Coast Art?
I think it was through Dartmouth Cultural Center.
The Dartmouth
I think
Cultural
that's the first
Center.
time I saw you. Your
Yeah.
name, of course, supersedes you. I knew who you were, but I had
Yeah,
not
that's
yet
kind of
met
scary.
You.
I find now I don't. There aren't that many people asking me, "Are you related to Norton Fortier, who
Fortier.
was a international
watercolors,
level?"
yes.
Yeah, and before that, he was like the premier marine photographer, or one of the premier marine photographers.
Actually, my daughter gave me one of his paintings of the Coast Guard in Cuttyhunk.
Mm-hmm.
It had water damage, and I don't know how to revive it. And make it.
That's a conservatorship. That's
Yeah, it was
I
so
don't know.
beautiful.
If the damage is primarily to the paper, then it's usually like a rusty-looking thing. But it's probably got its value as is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's part of its history. You know,
Right,
it's
right.
part of its history. Yeah, Norman and I are actually cousins.
Get that.
9 times removed. I come from the first son of the first Fortier, actually Lord Forestier, who came over in 1654 to Quebec with his son Antoine, which is my progenitor. Well, Noel is the father, then there's Antoine, and then the 9th one over, I think it was Basil, might be where Norman comes in from. He was a great guy. We had planned on doing a bunch of stuff together, and you know how life goes. But anyway, when did it all start for you?
You know what? I was in Key West, and one of my dear friends that I've played competitive golf with, tennis with.
You play competitive
I did
golf?
for 40 years. And she said to me, "You want to go to art lessons?" And I said, "Why would I?" Because I didn't think I had an artistic bone in my body. So
Right.
she gave me the canvas, a brush, her paints, and I sat on a stool at Sammy's Creek. It's a bug-infested, tropical, and from there it just mushroomed, and I haven't stopped.
What year was this?
It's 8 years ago.
Okay.
I took a sabbatical maybe 7 years ago and didn't paint, and then I started, and then there was this wonderful instructor at Westport Art Group, Sarah Ritchie. She's since moved to Tampa or St. Pete.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggled with a little painting, and I kept scraping it off. Of course, I paint with a palette knife, which is a little different than a brush.
Right.
And then at the end, at the critique, she said, "Oh, this is beautiful," and she made me
Really made you cry?
Yeah.
Well, last time I was in Key West was when I was at the University of Miami. We made that trek down there, and I remember someone saying, "Oh, this is a 7.5 mile bridge, long bridge." I'm like, "There's no bridge 7.5 miles long." Well, yeah, in the dark, unfortunately, they call it Death Alley, Route 1.
Do they really? Oh, I didn't know that.
The old one. The
Yeah,
old one.
yeah.
I mean, there was like one lane either way.
It's
and
2
there's
lanes either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then,
Yeah.
there wasn't. This was 1970,
Wow.
between 75 and 77.
Such an artist, thriving community down there.
Oh, yeah. When we went down there, the LGBTQ community was coming into its own, so to speak. They were just, starting to fix up places, and there were the Smoky was it Smoky Joe's Is it Smoky
Oh,
Joe?
yeah.
Which
It's still there.
yeah, and a couple of there was the Turtle Crawl and all these other
Yeah.
things, and of course there's the sign, 90 miles to
Right.
Cuba and such.
Yeah.
But I remember when we came down the end of Route 1, at that time it may have changed. You had to bang a really hard right. And then there was, I think, a Howard Johnson's, and then there was a hard left. And all of a sudden it's like, what the hell? I felt like I had pulled down into the historic district here in New Bedford.
Yes.
And I was like absolutely stunned by it. And then I was speaking to some old timer, and they said, well, in the old days, they used to have the young ladies dress up like mermaids and sit on rocks and
Oh, my God.
and attract the sailors
Visitors.
closer and closer until they get wrecked on the rocks, and then they would salvage all this stuff, and a lot of them happened to be Yankees. So it was weird. It was weird.
It's such a wonderful experience, and I haven't been back in maybe 5-6 years, but I look forward to.
Chas Hickey.
Oh
yeah,
my God!
yeah.
That's with the gallery that I'm in now at Four
A Jag?
Corners.
Is it Jag?
He's at Jag in Key West.
Right,
yes.
right.
Yes,
And,
I've yet to go down there to see his new.
Oh, he was great. I mean,
Journey.
that was one thing about Chas. I mean, he was.
Impeccable.
Yeah, he was one of those people. I met him at Dr. Richard Connor's annual Christmas party, and Dr. Connor's was just up the street from me when I lived in the West End, and that's when I first met Chas, and it's kind of cool to have somebody of his acumen look at your work.
It's wonderful.
And everybody wants to have their work shown, so you're like almost biting your nails kind of thing. And in fact, he came here and he looked at all the work that's hanging up here, and I got a couple of shows before he decided to pack up and move down there. And then Don Wilkinson just published that A.D. Tinkham, who was a Swain associated painter, and I didn't know was down in Key West as well.
Really, I didn't know.
So the South Coast community is spread further than you would believe. So you were a professional golfer. Let's go back to that.
I wasn't professional. I just played competitive.
You just played.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a difference.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I won
Okay.
a few pro-ams in Bermuda. It was fun. I haven't since I started painting. I really haven't
Right.
even played golf.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's,
So before that, I mean, how did you get into competitive golfing?
I don't even know. I think you know why I do know. We were playing tennis, and it started to rain, and we couldn't play tennis because court
Yeah.
would be wet. So we
Yeah.
all decided to go hit balls at Allendale, and from then I belonged to Allendale and the New Bedford Country Club.
Wow, that is. I mean, and that's what I love
So
about
fun.
this podcast. I've had so many great stories, like origin stories. One of them being, the artist was an advertising executive. Had nothing really to do on the creative side. Woke up one morning and said, "I'm going to be a painter," and just like that, the guy's in 6 galleries.
That's crazy, right? I think I've been in 6 galleries very recently, and
Yeah.
I like new adventures.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I just got back from the Panhandle, and there was this fabulous gallery curate, and I felt like I was stalking them. Every free second I would go into their gallery.
Really?
It was
What's I mean, one of the problems in certain parts of the country, well, we have the same problem too, being a coastal community, is that it's boats and water and seascapes, landscapes, farmscapes, right? What's down in the Panhandle?
Oh my God, it was so beautiful. I can't even begin to tell you. There's an artist from P-Town. Her name is Ann Packard, and she's renowned. I think she's 90-something.
Mm-hmm.
She had art there. I never even saw it because I saw so many other paintings, and then I saw it in the front of a publication.
Right.
And I thought, oh my God, I missed Ann Packard's
Was she a woodblock printer?
You know what? I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. I know she
Yeah.
and her daughter, Cynthia Packard, are both renowned artists.
The whole P-Town thing is still
It's wonderful.
a really, well, there's so many stories.
I know. I actually got accepted, juried into a show recently at the Cotuit Art Center, and they had all Cuban artists. Their work is
Cuban.
all
Wow.
Cuban artists. It was called Hot Hue. And first of all, I felt honored that my work would be
Right,
accepted.
right.
And it was just amazing.
Because I know when I was at the University of Miami, the social consciousness, let's use that term, they felt separated from the rest of the country culturally.
Yes.
They felt as though they were on the end of God's finger. Now imagine folks in Key
Wow.
West. And it was like, so what's going up in Boston? And then a couple of people started bringing in South American, Latin American art,
Vibrant.
Caribbean art, and it was, I mean, just one section off of Coral Gables, or adjacent to Coral Gables, that's nothing but Latino, Caribbean
Really? Yeah.
art. I was there 10 years ago now, the last time I was there.
Well, the artist that was involved in curating that show is
Mm-hmm.
actually from Cuba, but she has a gallery on Commercial in P-Town.
In P-Town.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Interesting. In fact, because of a Cuban,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sitting here.
Really?
Yeah. I went to SMU for fine arts. You went there as well? No.
Yeah, not for fine arts.
What did you
My
go-
father would never have allowed
Oh,
it.
yeah,
My
yeah.
mother might have.
Yeah, it was still back to like that.
Political science, and I minored in education.
Oh my God! So
Yeah.
you were political science. What was his name? Was still there?
Dr. Rory, he was fabulous.
Yeah.
Who's the other one?
God, he was the go-to guy every time something political happened. The newspaper would go to him, and I'm blanking on his name.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Yeah, it was. But anyway, and people have heard, listened to the podcast before, have heard this. His name was actually Lorenzo Andrade. So we called him Larry. And he was a Cuban refugee. He was that first wave of Cubans that came over. They were the well-off, the landed gentry. And I heard the story from 3 or 4 other individuals over my lifetime where they are working in the fields or in the fields, supervising the work in the fields, and somebody says, "Let's go," and that was it. Next thing you know, they're bobbing up and down on a raft or something in the Florida Straits. But anyway, he was separated from his mother and his father, which they did back then too. Ended up at St. Joseph's Home in Fall River, and ended up at SMU. And reconnected with his family in Miami. It was one of those head slap sort of things, who would have thunk.
Right.
But then again, it was
nice.
all the confusion, and you just never know. And we used to carry slide sets of each other's work back then, 35
that's so
millimeter slide sets. And the department chair came in. He was a kind of a nosy kind of guy, and he was going through everything in Larry's drawing table, and he sees my work, and he says, "Who's this guy?" And I was a year behind Larry, and I had not even considered the University of Miami. I applied to 3 other schools, I think it was, and I get a phone call, and pretty much it's like, yeah, they want to see you now. I was like, what?
That's
Yeah,
so
come on
awesome.
down. So I never even really officially applied.
That's cool.
And I'll always be holding to him for that. He was something else. And then when I got accepted and moved down there, he and his wife put me up for a couple of weeks until I got a place and such, and that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. The artist community is.
I find that
yeah.
the artists are very kindred people.
No.
They're kind. They
Giving, open-minded. Of course, just like
Very
anybody else, you're going to
kindred.
get the cantankerous,
A couple.
curmudgeons, and so on and
Yeah.
so forth. But from political science, I mean, and then competitive golf, has any of that creeped into your work, or
No, not
No.
yet.
not yet?
Not yet. It will.
Okay.
I'm sure it
All right.
will.
So what would you describe your work right now?
Pretty whimsical. I'm trying to keep it lighthearted. I mean, certain things just scream to me, and that's what I paint them. I paint birds, boats, and now I'm painting donuts because of going to the Cotuit Gallery.
Yeah.
I saw a 3D donut that looked real. It felt real. The curator there let me hold it. I should have taken it with me because I am enthralled with how to make them.
What was
now.
his name? Thibault. I can't remember his first name, but he did the whole series of donuts and
Did
such.
he really? Oh,
Yeah.
you'll have to give me that info.
And I thought Judy Chicago did for a while too.
No.
But again, garbage in, garbage out in your mind. As you get older, there's only so much drive space left, right?
I don't have any left.
So when you officially came out, when was that?
I sold my first painting at Norton Gallery maybe 7 years ago. He put it in the window, very abstract, but I painted it from a picture that I had.
Is it Phil Norton?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
And so I have some
his
paintings.
His son is
His son is Phil.
his son is taking it over?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Right.
he's wonderful.
Did you ever meet Frank McCoy when you would? He was just
Yes.
around the corner.
Yes, I did. And I've seen so many of his works.
Yeah.
I met him at an open studio at his house. And he's since passed.
Yeah, he was
very soon after I had seen him.
right. He was one of the big four,
Yes,
or
he was
four
fabulous.
fathers who we tease: Tonieri, Elliott, Cummings, and McCoy.
Yeah.
And he was such a gentle soul.
He was so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had his house.
Yeah.
It was his open studios. He had art everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was something else. So that was the first time I was at Norton. What did that do to your head from there? Like,
I heard people talking like, how could she sell a painting of that statue? She's not even an artist. And I had just
oh,
but it was kind of fun. That painting went to Santa Barbara, California.
wow.
They paid a lot for it.
Yeah,
They had
well,
to
they
buy,
probably
bought a
paid just as
frame,
much to ship it and frame
and
it.
they
Yeah.
shipped it. Yeah, they were only here for a week vacation. And right now I have 2 paintings going there, but they're not open today.
Right,
So,
right. Now, at what you became a member of the Dartmouth Cultural Center?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How'd that happen?
I don't know.
Because
Probably
to me,
through-
as a kid, that was the Southworth Library.
Library,
I can still
yes.
smell that place
Yeah, me
on winter
too.
days. I mean, there was just something about that
Yeah.
place, and
I took an art lesson there from
Yeah.
Susan Cabral,
yeah,
and we painted a peach, and it was I liked it.
Mrs.
ever
Haskell
since.
was the librarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
I
whole
remember those
different
days,
world
too.
back then.
Big time, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah, it is.
And
it
I
is.
live 2 minutes from there.
Yeah.
so.
And shout out to Tom Leavitt, who's
Oh,
been
my goodness.
battling forever to get that
Grants.
handicap access and
Yeah.
grants and so on and so forth. And he finally did it.
He
finally
actually
did.
helped me get I had written out a grant. I was a recipient, but I didn't know how to go about it, and he
Right.
helped me towards the end of the
Yeah.
receivership.
So, and then from there, did you not move on, but did you also associate yourself with the South Coast Artists?
Yes.
Okay, so SCA, as
Yes,
everybody
SCA.
refers to it. That has been going on now, how many, is it nearly 30 years?
I'm not sure. I have
It's up
done the
there.
tour a few times,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of work, and our gallery in Tiverton is also a sponsor.
Yeah.
So.
So I'm thinking now, how could that have become successful?
I have no idea.
Because
I
it was
have-
like, it was like one of those simple ideas, and
Yeah.
then you go to execute it, and you go,
crazy.
wait a minute, there's way more moving parts than I know
Yeah.
Jill Law was involved in that.
Yeah, she was president for a while. So was Heather.
Mm-hmm.
Now Steve Remick, and Steve
Yeah.
Remick is also part of my gallery at Tiverton.
Right. How's that doing, by the way?
I tell you what, I just sold another painting yesterday, day before.
Wow.
It's wonderful.
Wow.
And we've got
That's
a
a cooperative,
excavator.
right?
It's a co-op.
Okay.
yeah.
You have an excavator?
We have an excavator in the front, And we also have a reception coming up, so we're wondering, I think, to just use the back entrance.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not really been a deterrent. It's been a little bit of a deterrent
Yeah.
for selling art, but
Do
if
they
they want to
still-
get there, they will.
Yeah. Do they still have the studios in there? There was a jeweler, I think, and a
No.
photographer that were in
No,
there.
that photographer, I don't even know where he left.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there for a while with Chaz.
With Chaz, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Perry.
So, so now the next time I bump into you is at Kettle Black, which it takes a while to finally catch on that it's, there's the pot
collaborative,
calling
yeah.
the kettle black.
Oh, I love that.
Because they think, oh, it's the black kettle. No.
Yes.
And then there's that whole thing that there's a history behind that
There is.
actual
Kettle.
sign, which is a kettle.
Yeah.
A full
It's
scale,
amazing.
kettle.
Yeah, she received her national
A register
landmark
register of
for
historic
the
places.
historical plaque.
Yeah. Because
That
I
was
remember
exciting.
it wasn't was it the baggy wrinkle upstairs at one
I
time?
think something like
Yeah.
that. I'm not that familiar
Yeah,
with it.
because when I got back from Miami, of course, while I was in Miami, that's when the gas fires happened, and I still remember.
So crazy.
What was Marilyn's last name? She's the only one of the grad students that had a television in her studio. She came running into my studio screaming, Walter Cronkite said New Bedford's on fire. I'm like, what?
It was.
Yeah, and then to see all that destruction. And I started working for the city right after that when I got
It's
back.
funny because I had done some restorative work for the oldest house in Dartmouth with
Mm-hmm.
Pete Baker.
On Dartmouth Street?
Yes, the Aiken House.
That was that. I always get Merrimack and Meriden. I think that might be No, that might be Merrimack. Because it goes off of Dartmouth Street right after the Cushman School, and walk by that place because I used to live on Prospect Street.
Really?
Yeah, and went by that place so many times and said, it's amazing that this place is still
It is
intact.
amazing. And she did a fundraiser event. I worked physically. I remember saying to myself, Pete Baker was probably 70, 80 at the time. I said, if she can climb that ladder, I can. After working there, I had to get a cortisone shot in my shoulder because I was clenching so tightly. And I said that Aiken House really lives up to its Aiken reputation.
It's Aiken, it's Aiken,
Yes.
Aiken rep, yeah.
So that was fun. And I
Yeah.
love history. I taught history in Dartmouth for years. But I remember asking her, how can I help you next week?
You taught history in Dartmouth?
I did. I was a school teacher.
Middle school, high school?
Middle school.
Middle school. Oh, geez. So,
Yeah.
okay. So I was amongst the last graduating class of the Elmer M. Poole School.
Oh, I never.
When that was the Elmer M. Poole
Yes.
Junior High
Yep,
School.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think. I think Miss Olga Tavares was.
She was my 7th grade teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always wondered whatever happened to. And it ended up being, it was Maureen Kennedy, the art teacher.
I don't
She
remember.
was, this vivacious redhead,
Yeah.
Maureen Kennedy. I mean, her name
remember.
exemplified what she looked like. Then she ended up as Maureen Kennedy, and Avila, rather.
Oh.
yeah.
She was my art teacher, actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. There were
Yes.
so many.
Yes. Well, I didn't know her first name. but
Right. Now,
Mrs.
did you go to
Avila.
Dartmouth High?
I did.
Did you have Francisco Raposa, Frank Raposa, as your
I
art
did
instructor?
not, but I know his daughter very well. We
Okay.
played piano together. And same,
Okay.
What do you call instructor?
Instructor.
Piano
Jeez.
instructor.
Wow, small world.
It is.
Yeah, I owe him an incredible debt of gratitude. You know how kids are and such, but I had him for drafting as well as for art. And him and Mr. Wally.
Tomkowitz. No, what was Wally's last name? Or
No, it was Mr. Wally. I think it was
yeah.
Kevin or Ken Wally. Mr. Tomkowitz was there was Mr. Tomkowitz, Mr. Bobowicki. I mean, there's a whole.
Mr.
It's fading. It was a
Arvanitis.
class of
It's
'71.
so
I
cool.
mean, class of '71. I mean, that was the largest graduating class at the time of 300 students, and then rapidly started losing people left and right to all kinds of things of life and
Right.
such, you know. But so so all this is in the background, you know, in your
Right. And I never really liked art in high school.
really.
Yeah, I never felt like I was successful with it. I
Right,
guess.
right. And then all of a sudden, you know, you start painting because somebody gave you the paint
In
and
Key
brushes.
West, because they gave me this small little canvas, and I brought it home to the resort. I lived in Stock Island, and my
Yeah.
next door neighbor at the resort said, "Nice painting of the mangroves." And some weeks,
It's like, wow, you recognize
I
that?
know. That's what I didn't even know what a
Yeah,
mangrove was.
yeah.
So some weeks I remember trying to hide them in compartments outside so that he wouldn't see them because they weren't that great.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I always contribute his pushing me for my success.
Now, how did you get involved with Kettle Black? Because that, you know, that building looked like it was being restored for like ever. I think probably it started like around COVID or somewhere around then. And I know there were some major issues because my friend Henry Duval had Duval's Antiques, where
I have heard
where
that.
the gallery is,
Yeah.
and he had like this incredible estate jewelry, and
Yeah.
he was from another realm, and but I do know that they had a sewage problem, and every so often when there was like
Yes,
heavy rains, it would just
we
plop
still
right
do.
through.
We still do.
Really,
Yeah.
they didn't get that fixed.
Well, they try. But
Yeah. And then one of the Carters, I think, had something
Really?
upstairs. You know, that side door.
right, that's now Coastal Bubbles, and she also has an Airbnb up on the third floor.
She has an Airbnb. Well, things have evolved quite a bit.
They have. And
So,
it takes time.
how did you get involved with Kettle Black?
They came and asked if I wanted to be part of the collective. So
Now,
I
had
said,
you ever had any, and I hope I'm not being overly personal, I'm just
Yeah.
doing this for the historic record.
Yeah.
It's not a Senate
For
committee
history.
hearing. Yeah. Anthony Frangelis of Anthony's Drawing Room,
Yes.
who's an architect and runs the
Yes,
drawing
yes.
room, which I can't even describe it. It's got a little bit of everything.
So
in it.
eclectic.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
she's got art, she has wine, she
Yeah.
has paints,
Yeah.
she has everything.
I think she was selling
Cards.
sorbet at one time, too.
I think probably, yeah.
Yeah.
She's wonderful. She's
Yeah.
a class act, and
So, you know, I've been, and I've said it a lot of times, you know, it's like one of my themes that I go to, besides, you know, what happened in Miami and this, that, and the other. But I keep saying, and I will continue saying, we need more wall space.
yeah.
And now, even though this isn't a contemporary podcast, just yesterday they announced that the Star Store is going to be
I know,
reopening
that's
as a
huge.
art and performing center. And then maybe we'll have. I mean, they've got a built-in gallery
I know,
downstairs
how
already
wonderful is that?
good to go. So, on that note, exhibit space is one thing.
Right.
Sales space is another thing. Commercial galleries. I know I work with David Wallaga. He's a friend, and like the gallery setting, like he said,
photographer.
can be really. Oh, and I've done it for Gallery X years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it kind of says the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During your gallery sitting stints, have you noticed any traffic coming in from Boston? Because
Yes.
we always
train.
imagine, oh, we got a train to go to Boston, but I
Right.
don't think anybody ever
This
thought
comes
of,
back.
hey, they can come down here.
Yes, well, my fellow artist Barbara Healy and I took
Yeah.
the train Monday, the holiday, to go to the MFA, and it was wonderful. And we have also had people take the train to get to New Bedford. Yeah.
Now the MFA still has the Roulin family, the Van Gogh Roulin family. Or is that down?
It was sold out.
It was
the,
sold out?
The Van Gogh. So we'll go back.
I hate to sound snobbish. I mean, I saw it with my wife and my sister-in-law at the DIA, the Detroit Institute of Art, when they had Van Gogh Coming to America show, which was a huge retrospective, and they got the honor because they were the first museum in the country to have shown his work.
I love his work.
You know, that's like going way, way back, and that was like phenomenal. And I was kind of underwhelmed, but I went. Is John Wilson's work still up there?
I don't think so. And Georgia O'Keeffe already came down.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
exhibit,
John
so,
Wilson was.
yeah.
I've never been so moved by charcoal drawings in my entire life, and I'm not even talking about the Black experience,
Right.
Black history pieces. I'm
Yeah.
just talking about what this man could do with charcoal. It's just.
Amazing. Right. So we waited in line for almost 2 hours because you couldn't order your tickets online because
Really?
it was a holiday. And I said, I don't know anybody else that would do that other than an artist.
Yeah,
Waiting to-
well, I remember being in Montreal once, visiting family, and they had a Rodin retrospective at the museum in Montreal, and I called up naturally. Oh, what are your hours? And yeah, and you know, what are the ticket prices? Well, they vary, but you have to. You can't just buy tickets. What do you mean? You have to make an appointment. A what?
Oh,
You have to
time
make
frame,
an
yeah.
appointment. That was the first time I'd ever heard of that. I
Yeah.
felt so horrified and stupid
Yeah.
at the same time.
So we ended up going to the Isabella Gardner Museum too.
Yeah.
So that was a bonus to get to see
Yeah,
that again.
I haven't
Yeah.
been there since before the heist. Because
Really?
when they stole, when they had the heist, I remember exactly where the Rembrandt was and a
Yeah.
couple of other pieces.
I think there's
like,
6
Yeah.
missing from one room.
yeah,
All Rembrandt.
yeah, it's still worth going.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're in Kettle Black. I know you sold a piece that big. Was it the Italian?
Oh, that did not sell
That-
actually.
that-
No, that's
oh.
actually going to Phil's.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I thought for some reason that one did sell. Oh, what?
No,
Yeah.
I did sell one.
Okay.
Not the big one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you sold one. That's important.
It is.
So Kettle Black has been successful so far.
I think it's a new
I mean,
stages.
it's a new thing.
It's,
It's before you can
infantile
walk,
stages.
you got to crawl,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah. And
It's a beautiful space.
it is
and
a
I love
beautiful
being there.
space, and we've got a lot going on. The New Bedford Art Museum, Suzanne DeVay,
Yeah.
who I will eventually get on this podcast,
cool.
but she's so incredibly busy. They've done a phenomenal job there. Of course, Whaling Museum's always. So the Whaling Museum isn't. I don't want. They're not the only action in town or game in town,
No.
which is great.
Right. But they are doing some
They are
renovation
doing
there too on the other
right,
building.
Right, and they've also contemporized much more.
Yeah.
So it's not like your 4th grade
No.
field trip. So there's a lot going on, and it's. So have you ever been to Portland, Maine?
One time
Was this
in the winter.
before or
Way
after
before.
the Renaissance, as they call it? Way
before,
before.
yeah.
Because it was a sleepy little navy town,
Yeah.
basically, and I'm very curious about the story that I've heard that this woman opened a gallery, and it just sort of kick-started everything from there.
I love it.
It was like a stone soup
Yeah.
kind of situation. So where are you going to go from here?
You know what? I would like to start doing more plein air painting. I have a new easel. And maybe go down to the Carolinas on the way to Florida and just sell in other galleries too.
Yeah, there's I've always, although the history is kind of horrible down there. The Ibu landing, where there was a mass suicide of enslaved Nigerians.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's weird. I just connected it, and sometimes it takes me forever to connect things like that. But I remember traveling up and down the coast from the University of Miami here and back, and there was something about St. Simeon's and Jekyll's, and there was just something, and I always thought it was the beauty of the place, maybe, but I've had these experiences where I've been in places that I didn't know things happened that were really
Right.
nasty, and I could feel
Lot
the
of history.
vibes of it.
Yeah. Charleston.
Yeah, yeah.
History down
I mean, I was in Portugal in this place called Bucala, and there was this. It was a massive convent. I mean, the church owned so much property all over Europe and such, and there's this big plain, and you could see the Spanish border from there. There was a huge stone cross, and it's like, that's pretty normal for a Catholic country like Portugal. Yeah. And I was just standing there looking around, looking at the scenery, basically, and I felt this weird presence. I just couldn't shake it off. So I worked my way up to the cross, and I read the plaque on there, and it said that I think it was 5,000-6,000 men died there. It was during the Peninsular Wars. General Wellesley, I can't remember. Wellington. I'm so dyslexic. General Wellington led, British and Portuguese forces against Napoleon's forces to prevent them from invading Portugal. Yeah. And it was like, wow. And I've had those other kind of weird things where not knowing, it's just kind of weird. And that's probably why I paint the stuff that I paint.
But, I'm sure that is.
Yeah, could be. You've been doing this how many years now? 8 years, you said?
About 8 with a year sabbatical.
Okay. And what's next? Are you just going to be the tumbleweed? Because it's basically what you've been, right?
Yeah.
You've been a tumbleweed.
I do like that. I do. I'll be in Portugal next month, so maybe I'll be able to for a wedding, my daughter's wedding.
Congratulations!
So
on the mainland or the islands?
Mainland.
What part, if you don't?
I'm not actually sure right now.
All right.
I'd have to check the invitation.
Yeah. I lived there for a year. And,
really?
Yeah, it was.
And I'm sure I'll paint.
Oh gosh, yeah. There's just so much. It doesn't matter where you're at.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I think that's part of the intriguing part of plein air, that there's so much beauty.
Yeah.
I go out there and I'm not sure when we go with the groups, I'm not sure what to paint because there's so much.
Yeah, so it's also traditional there. I mean, art is a big thing. One of the first encounters that I had was, duplicated all the time I was there. Excuse me, what do you do? Oh, I'm an artist. And it's like, you're an artist? Have I seen your work? Is it hanging up anywhere in town? Do you have a website?
I don't even have a website.
And it's like, wow, unbelievable. Over here, it's like, you make any money doing that?
Yeah.
It was like, what a difference.
I'm not sure if I like making the art better or selling it. I think I get a rush on both ends.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if you make it for the intent of selling it, and there are people who have been successful with just an intent, but I don't know.
Did the installation a couple of years back when I first joined Four Corners Gallery, and this gentleman bought a collage. I don't usually paint with other mediums other than oil and a palette knife, but I put some sailcloths, Sperry sailcloths on it. And I did the installation in Watertown, and that made my heart so happy to see that he hung it in his foyer when you're walking the house. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, there is something. It's like, it's like leaving a little bit of you behind. Yes. And I know it sounds kind of.
Yeah.
What's the word? It's like scent marking. It's like
it's mine.
You're marking it with your essence.
Yes. Yeah, I love that.
So to speak, right? And to know that you're driving someplace or you're going somewhere and you can say, hey, my work is here.
Nothing gives me greater pleasure than driving or walking by Elm Street and seeing my painting. We call it in the grandiose window because it just sparkles when it's there.
Yeah.
Something magical.
So you're going to have more shows at the Norton?
I'm sure. I don't know where. I'm thinking down the Cape. There's a possibility.
Yeah, is it Berta Walker? There's more. I don't know if there's more new galleries because I've always wanted to go, and obviously every time I've got the time to go is during the summertime. It's like, oh God. I'd probably have to leave at 3:00 in the morning or something to try to beat the traffic, right? And then once you're there, prices are like probably out of their minds up there. I haven't been up there since I was, it was 40, 50 years probably. So it's changed quite a bit.
Yes,
The Portuguese influence is still very heavy there.
very much so.
Yeah, yeah. And it is a weird little community, isn't it?
I think it's adorable. I do.
And I mean
Yeah.
weird in a
Weird
good
is a
in a
good
good
way,
way.
yeah.
I mean, when you think of the factions in town, how everybody coalesces and such, it wouldn't work anywhere else.
Yeah, so my daughter used to live in Truro, my other daughter, and she somehow got me in a gallery, Sid Bolduc's, where she does a lot of encaustic work.
Yeah.
And I sold a painting there too, and that was wonderful.
Is your daughter are your daughters also artists or no?
I think my oldest one is, yeah.
You think she
Yeah.
is?
I
Does
know
she know she is yet?
No, not yet.
Oh my God, she's gonna be another tumbleweed.
So I told her when she was studying at BU, Boston University, I said, take art as an elective. And she never did. But she lives directly across from the Art Armory now in West Palm Beach.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned BU because I'm going to be honest with you. Up until recently, I didn't know that was like on anybody's radar to go to school there for art. It wasn't until I, fell over Sir Frank Bowling Jr., who's this phenomenal painter. He's from Guyana, British Guyana, the same place where John Wilson is from. And then they were both on faculty. And then you start seeing some of the other faculties, like, how come nobody was talking about them, like Parsons or RISD or Cleveland Art Institute or any of the, nobody, that they were never part of the buzz. It was like BU, you went there for like serious stuff.
Yeah, she did too.
You really, So, wow. If you could do anything you wanted to do right now, money was no object, distance was no object, what would you do?
I would just paint. I love being an artist. I really love being able to express myself through art. Yeah,
Now,
it's fun.
I had this discussion with, go ahead.
I would like to try 3D.
Would you?
I would. I've got a wonderful friend. She's a sculptor out of New Mexico. No. Out west. Arizona.
Arizona, okay.
Oh my God. Her work, she usually does her installations at hospitals, children's hospitals, and she does mainly extinct animals and turtles, and she bronze casts them. And,
Wow.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
It's funny because I never got 3D for some reason. It doesn't work in my head. I don't know why.
I don't know why I want to. I'm gonna
Well,
start with
there's a reason. You got to
yeah.
listen. Yeah, well, sounds very saccharine and sweet, but you got to listen to your heart.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
there's
I
something.
always want to expand and learn and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I was having this conversation with Don Wilkinson this past weekend. I had written an article for the Artist Index and around Christmas time. I said the best gift that you can give to an artist is time. And he's like, well, no, the best gift you can give to an artist is money so they can buy time. He's like, okay, because he's always so damn pragmatic. But,
Yeah, yes,
and I said, well, I remember graduate school where it was nothing like I had imagined. I mean, it was an embarrassment of riches. I mean, stipends, assistantships. I mean, I made money going to grad school. I made enough money to go to grad school to pay my overwhelming debt from SMU, which was $2,400 for all 4 years. But anyway, but to be in the studio for 8 to 12 hours a day, my God,
That would be wonderful.
yeah, of course, as he said, you have to have money to be able to afford to do that. But when you stop and think about why do they call it a practice? It's just like medicine. It's just like law. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
Hopefully,
and I always wondered how many of us have been stymied
I
by not
am
having that
thinking.
time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had in the 8 years, which is short comparatively.
It is. Yeah.
You got momentum going, and then all of a sudden,
Artist block.
or a block or something happened where you were taken away from, you were just at that crucial point. You know, it's like seasoning the soup or something. You know, you just, and then you're called away, pulled away, whatever, and then you try to go back and replicate it, and you can't. Yeah, because you have no idea what the heck you did to get it to that point. You know, that's what drives me batty.
And I always have trouble thinking what's next. I like to, because I'm in galleries, I like to do series of paintings, you know, that all kind of look well together. And
You're going to be in the Carolinas, you said?
I would like to. There's a gallery, the Reinhardt Gallery.
Yeah, the Reinhardt is a
and
big
I'd
one.
like to go
in
by
fact,
there
I think, and I always have to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mint Museum in Charlotte is a friend of mine's nephew's husband is the director, the curator there at the Mint Museum, and they've got a really interesting, you know, there's a lot of, I guess it must be Yankee bias, but there is a lot of culture down there, and you know, I discovered the Louisiana channel on YouTube, and some phenomenal videos of some artists you've never heard of before.
Right.
And then some of them that like, oh my gosh, that's where this person started, the ones you have heard about. Yeah. You know, not that they all start from Louisiana, but I mean, it's just this it's the white rabbit. You got to feed your head. You know, it is the rabbit that has to feed your head, right?
I know that I took a few workshops from Michelle Byrne, who is also a palette knife painter. She used to live in Reading, Pennsylvania, but she moved to Santa Fe. Her works have changed. She was on the cover of the Plein magazine. So I tried to take a workshop with her either in Key West, Bonita Springs, and she's just fabulous, and I like her style. So she's
part of getting around as a painter. Is it FaceTime? Is it just being there? Is it just and if you go to a place, because I got to be someplace, you know, every week I got to go to an opening, every week I got to do this. If you go there with the intent of like, hopefully I'll meet somebody that'll change my entire life, you might as well stay home. Or is it serendipitous? Is it just
I
like?
think it's serendipitous.
You know, it's the Forrest Gump feather just floating about.
I do. I've never even heard of the Salmagundi Club in New York, and I had the pleasure of going there.
Heather, did Heather exhibit there?
Not there, but she's close by.
All right.
But it was. They have the Hudson River painters.
Oh yeah.
Their permanent collection is breathtaking. I walk in, my hair stands on it.
Oh yeah, the
the
luminists.
Now I had an exhibit there too, but the Hudson Rivers and the building itself reminds me of the Providence Art Club on steroids.
Really?
It was like, so I love the Providence Art Club too.
Yeah. I mean that whole history behind that with Bannister, Michael Bannister. He had three names. Bannister. He was an African American landscape painter. Really? I remember the first time I bumped into his work, and it literally was at the Whaling Museum. They had an exhibit. I forgot what it was. I think it was one of the first ones that Naomi Slip did when she became the curator. And I'm just, following the wall. And I saw this one piece, and it's the same feeling I get when I look at the Lewis Richardsons, which are in that small gallery, which is just before as you're going into the Waddles Gallery. It's on the left-hand side. Allison Wells has a piece hanging in that room. Okay. And I was like, oh, my God. And then I found out who this man was, and he was one of the founders of Providence Art Club. It's like,
really?
Wow.
Oh, I love it. I love that place.
Yeah,
it reminds me of Williamsburg, the Providence Art Club, the way the historical archives that are there. And it's just beautiful. and I love Tomaselli, and I have been invited to plein air paint with Nick Pachorik, so I just have been very blessed.
Edward Mitchell Bannister. And what makes us as painters the way we are by getting either turned on, befuddled, pissed off, looking at other people's work?
I never usually get mad. And I never usually try to paint like other artists. But I do try to capture some aspects from people that I like, their style.
But what is it about another? I mean, I think I've mentioned this already 5-6 times on this thing. My friend Bob Brodesky and I went. We were supposed to go see the Cy Twombly show. That's a whole other side story. We bumped into Sir Frank Bowling Jr.'s exhibit at the MFA. We're both painters. We're both surface insane. There's no other word for it. And we were crawling all over. I mean, the guards are like, because we're getting really close. We're looking at it from an angle, and it sounds like it's almost sexual. There's just something about the surface that is just delicious.
There was a 3D sculptor carved out of marble. Mm-hmm. It was his deceased wife. He and another artist collaborated on it. He made
Who is this again?
Pillow. I don't remember his name. It was at the MFA, but the pillow looked so soft. I mean, how do you make marble look soft?
Oh, that's just like the one where he's grabbing her glute. Let's use that term, and it's so it's so flesh-like. That is craft.
I know you can't touch art, especially in a museum, but I did all I could not to.
Yeah, and there's other things too, like with Michelangelo. I think there are people who always love Michelangelo, the Sistine Chapel, so on and so forth, all that other stuff. But there's always the simplistic thing, like the David. You look at it. The problem with iconic artwork is you look at it, but you never really see it.
True. Very true.
And there's always like the David is the big nude guy, right? So there's all the obvious things that people are attracted to or not, but the look on this guy's face captures a moment in time, and I can't remember if that was the moment just before he's going to sling the rock or the moment just after he let it go, and that I think is what makes it. That's what makes it art, right? Yeah. It was a famous Japanese filmmaker who said, it's not the frames that are important. It's not a specific frame it's what's in between the frames. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a stickler for frames. I just purchased some from Riverside Art.
No, I'm talking about the frame of film. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just that moment that, like with film, it would be like the overlap.
Right.
It's neither here nor there. It's that point in the middle as it's going by. Yeah, but frames, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
That's
I don't frame everything, but I have to have the right frame.
Well, printmaking or drawing or whatever like that, I mean, those are items that people won't pay like thousands of dollars for a print, unless, of course, you're lucky enough to get to that level. Right. Same thing for a drawing. It's a drawing. It's not a finished. It's like a painting that didn't get finished. Kind of, how people are, and so you've got a drawing that say it's $100, or a print that's $100. It's going to cost you $600-$700 to have the darn thing framed.
I know, but some of them are worth it. I usually get mine made too.
Yeah. So and as a plug to Norton Gallery, I mean they're good frame makers.
They're fabulous.
They've been around for a long time.
Long time.
Yeah, I remember way back in the day when the Village was the Village with Bill Woodhouse tending to the grill, like Julia's Whale Tail. Yeah. And there was this whole other vibe back then that was just unbelievable.
Yeah. It's a cool little town.
Yeah, it's very
Lucky to
very
live in
laid
it.
back, and you had the haves and have-nots all mingling together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap this up in just a bit. So I'm going to ask you, what's in the future, if you can reveal it, or what would you like there to be in the future?
I'd like to be in a few more galleries, not localized. I'd like to
Get out of town, so to
get
speak?
out of town.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would like to maybe travel and paint as I go.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically any direction you want.
And I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely is any direction you want to go in. And sometimes you don't have to go too far either. It's
No,
amazing. I
it's in
lived. Go ahead.
The beauty is in your backyard. My
Yeah.
mother used to always say that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have not done yet. Painted my backyard.
Yeah, yeah. It might be, sometimes we overlook.
Yeah.
We look over something, looking for
Yeah,
something, and
yeah.
it's like the nose on our face. We don't.
That's right.
We don't.
Yeah.
We can't see
and,
our own
And I
nose.
see my peonies getting ready to pop. So, I mean, that
Yeah.
might be my first.
And with them, the ants come, right? The
I
ants.
love that. And I know not to bring them in the house, but do I? I know I bring them in the house.
Yeah, the ants are just
Yeah.
like it. Wherever there's peonies, there's going to be ants, right? Yeah, it's funny because I lived on the other side of the river I owned a house for 35 years over there, and Fairhaven was just Route 6 to me. It was
It's
always on the way
beautiful.
to something. I really didn't know anyone here, whatever. And now where we live, in what they call the center of Fairhaven, and, which is like a 10-minute walk to the fort, is really good.
There's a wonderful little art supply place there on
Oh, the
Water
Art
Street.
Loft, yeah,
the Art
yeah,
Loft, Tina.
yeah.
And I paint a lot of those fishing boats. I was just there yesterday taking photographs.
I went to, somebody told me to go see Sonia at Euro, not Euro.
Oh, the other Euro,
store,
yeah.
but Euro,
Yeah.
the fishing gear store.
Yes.
And she doesn't work there anymore. I met a Paula who worked there, and I said, I was sent here because my stepfather's last trip out as a fisherman was from Union Wharf.
Yeah.
He was on the Annie M. Jackson, and I've been looking for photographs of the boats that he was on. I've got a lot of them memorized. And she said, "Oh no, this is the person you want to talk to," and it was Steve Kennedy, which I
yes.
put in a call
yes,
to, and
he's
I've
an
got
artist, too.
yeah, he's a photographer and a
Right.
painter.
Funny you mentioned Water Street. That's where I used to go when I was writing a cookbook. I had it published maybe 8 years ago, and we did the
Wait!
food
You
photography
just
on
totally,
Union
you just
Street.
totally. Where did the cookbook thing come from?
Oh, I love food.
Really?
I
Are you
do.
still doing that?
No.
No. I was going to say, because we're
No.
going to have you come back and talk
Yeah.
about, because
Oh, my
we've
goodness.
had one cookbook author on so far.
Really?
Yeah, Milena Rodriguez.
I tell you
For
what,
the
my
Love of Portuguese
first book
Food.
signing was
Yeah.
in Miami Beach at the International Book Fair, and it was wonderful. But I thought I should have maybe done it in Spanish,
Yeah.
because most of the population were speaking Spanish.
Right. What kind of food? More regional?
Yeah, everything. I'm from Virginia, so a lot of Virginia
Oh.
hush puppies. My mother was a great cook. My father actually made Dwight D. Eisenhower's 50th birthday cake. He got an accolade
Oh my
for
God!
it. I
Now that
know,
we're
how
wrapping it up,
wonderful
is
was
all
that?
when the stuff, everything starts coming out, because it's funny.
And
Hush
he
puppies.
tried teaching me how to make roses on cakes. You'd
Really?
scrape it off. And
Oh,
do
yeah,
it again. He
yeah.
had this really elaborate cake decoration.
You have a nail?
Yeah.
You didn't use a nail, the cake nail, or the rose nail, or what they call it.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Wow, that is
He
really
still
cool.
laughs at me because I can't make a lemon meringue pie without him. I make it, it tastes wonderful, but the minute you cut into it, it just deflates.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
an art.
Baking is not cooking; it's chemistry
Yes. Yeah.
and an art. And art, it was where the two come together.
Yes.
Because hush puppies and
Do you know why they were named hush puppies?
Yeah.
I knew you could.
Yeah,
would
yeah,
know
that,
because
yeah.
intrigues me too, and I can just picture them doing that.
But it was ruined by Hardee's and Hardeeville, where you try to stick your fork in a damn thing, and it was
It's
like
hard.
marbles. They'd be running all over the place. And oh my God, why am I? I'm totally blanking out. Grits, my God, grits.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
I remember
I love grits.
the woman holding her, the waitress, holding her, putting her hand on her hips, like, "Ain't y'all gonna eat your grits?" And I looked at her and was like, no, because it looked like
Nothing on
sand.
them.
It looked like sand and butter, and it took forever for me to go and try. And like, wait a minute, this is what they're supposed to taste like.
Grits. Yeah, that's a big Southern.
Yeah.
And waffles and chicken.
Yeah, well, one of the things I remember was in Miami was when they brought honey to the table for the fried chicken. I'm like, what? And they used honey, which was really kind of interesting. Yeah, one of my classmates, Peggy Gage, the Gages of Virginia. Yeah, big family. She went on. It was like one of those moments in time where the department chair comes up, and he goes, "Hey, they just spotted a skunk ape down in the Everglades, and they need somebody to go down there and take a witness statement, do a sketch of the ape." And I looked at Peggy and I could see her eyes. I'm like, go for it. She became one of the foremost courtroom sketch artists as a result of that.
That makes
skunk
sense
ape
because you
sketch.
couldn't take photographs then.
Yeah, exactly. I always think about
wonderful.
her. And funny thing. So, Robin, thank you so much. It's been a long time coming.
It has.
I'm so glad you're here. And folks, if you have just come in on the end of this or somewhere after the beginning, our guest today was a painter by happenstance. The tumbleweed, as I refer to her as, Robin Nunes. And wow.
That's great.
And just as you were worried about not having anything to say or whatever, and just as we're wrapping this up, she just throws all this other stuff at me.
Funny.
It was absolutely
Thank you,
fantastic.
Ron.
Thank you so much. And folks,
really appreciate it.
it's getting crazy out there. And seriously, take care of yourself.
To learn more
Be nice
about the
to
South
other
Coast
people.
Artist Index,
Bye-bye.
visit theartistindex.com. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Be the artist you believe you are, and let's take care of each other out there.